What's up? What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, continue on with Lucky Luciano here, our big turbo Plymouth Duster, and got a lot of work to do. Let's go. As she sits here like a good girl. If you watched the video last Friday, we took the car out for its very first test passes. We learned a lot. One of the things we learned is that this 16-volt system, something's going on with it. It's like you got to put it on the charger after every time. It's got an alternator on it. You got to put it on the charger, and after 2 or 3 cranks, battery's done. So something's going on. Something's a little fishy. We think the battery may have a dead cell, but I just did, when I just was taking the battery out to take it to Brian, because Brian does all the RC stuff, so he's got like all these, hypo chargers and all that stuff. I learned something. Now, this is a excess power S1600, so 16 volt. And give you a quick explanation. This battery did very, very good. I got this from a very good friend who didn't have it long. Got this and the battery charger for a smoking deal. 150 bucks. You cannot beat that. It's a $400 battery and a $300 charger. I got it for 150 bucks, so it was a no-brainer. We did have the 12 volt excess in there, but the car would struggle cranking, so we switched it over to 16 volt, and it was a blessing until we ran into this issue. And I think everything was going great with it until I tried to take the car to do an alignment, and I left the power on overnight. And then ever since then, it was having issues. So I thought. But what I just found taking this battery out. So if you ever deal with excess power, we got studs, but these studs are they just screw into here. Typically, these would take a boat. You can use these studs, or they sell the attachment for like the regular battery. These are just studs. You could probably pop. I already tightened that one up, but anyway, these pop out, and you can just put a bolt in there. One of the things I found is we were using like this one. You see how this goes? Blah, blah, blah. Well, this one, it's already stuck right there. So there's an issue somewhere with these threads. Like right there, it looks pretty bad. But let's just say we get it right there, and then we force this guy on. What I just do with my 9/16? Who knows? So we got our 9/16, and we start. We're just going to send it over that thread. Hopefully it cleans it up. All right, this might be a 2-hand job. But anyway, you get it down to this point, and then if you want to go to take it off, hey, yeah, it's just going to twist the whole stud off. So that sucks. All right, so we got our battery charging. We replaced the power stud with just the bolt that came out of our 12 volt excess power, and she's charging away. We'll see if she'll ever get all the way charged. It wouldn't while it was in the car. You could have it in there for 8 hours and it wouldn't all the way charge. So let's see.
All right, guys. So after a few hours, that was our problem this whole time. It is fully charged. We're just going to let it float for like a day, just to make sure. Good to go. I haven't turned on no lights in here. So we'll put it back up tomorrow when we got more work to do. So let's go. I'm excited. Save $300. All
right, guys. So 2 days later, I pretty much left the battery floating and unplugged it, left it for about 7-8 hours, plugged it back in, and it didn't really lose any charge. So I think the battery's good to go. Fingers crossed. Everything seems to be going right. So we got the car in here. You might remember from the last video. If not, here, I'll play the clip. There was a massive exhaust leak. At first I thought it was, the valves are a little bit loose, and then we realized that no, actually the valves are a little bit tight. So I was like, okay, so there's got to be an exhaust leak. Not a big deal. So I found it today as I pulled the car in.
Yeah, I'd say she's leaking pretty good. And yes, that is RTV.
For header gaskets. I've ran RTV for years. This is the first time it's ever failed. But I did order gaskets, so y'all should be proud of me. I've had bad luck with gaskets. Every time I put a gasket on this car, it just immediately blows out. So then I switched over to RTV, and it was great for years and years and years. And before this last one, it had RTV and gaskets. But then that night when we was putting it all, thrashing on it, yeah, well, I'm just saying this is the side my dad put on. Okay. So we need to find a razor blade to scrape that. We also, if you remember the in-car footage, it was breaking up pretty bad. We got our new spark plugs. We're going from a 9 to a 7. We're going to probably run about 20 thousandths gap in it, and that should work. Figured out why it wasn't. I confirmed why the boost controller wasn't working. The tank didn't have enough pressure in there for the regulator to read. I just double checked it. Here, tank's still full. Let's do it again. So we'll go power on. Alright, so we got air on, ignition on, and our boost controller on. Give it a second. Fuel pump's loud. Alright, so tank's still filled. Now listen, you should hear the boost controller. It's trying to put 2 pounds on the dome. And then 4 pounds down track. So all of that seems to be working. So yay. Let's go ahead and turn all this stuff back off. So everything's going well. Turn the battery back off. So that's working. So while I got the header off, I'm gonna go ahead and gap the plugs and then throw those things on that driver's side. We're not pulling off the passenger side header because it's not leaking. I gotta check the tracking on the gasket, see where they are. If they're not gonna be here today like they're supposed to be, we're going back to RTV, and next week we can pull it off and put the gaskets on, or just hold on to them if it's not leaking. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna check the tracking. I'm gonna get the gap and plugs and go from there. All right. So this is probably the easiest way that I've found to gap the plugs. You buy this little tool off Amazon. I think they're like $7 or $8. Get you a filler gauge. I'm going to a 20. So let's pull out a 20. Okay, let's see if we can do this one hand. So that is a 20. And then you tighten this guy until it crushes that spark plug strap to 20 thousandths. So there's a little bit of pressure. You're not going to be able to do this with one hand. But anyway, keep twisting it. It'll push it in, leave that 20 thousandths gap, and then it's good to go. All right. So once you get once you get it tight enough, we still got our 20 thousandths. And then you just want to make sure it barely slides in. So that one's a little tight. So I give it just a little bit more. Beautiful. You want to feel it kind of grab it. Spark plug's done. You can go in the hole. All right, guys. She is all back together. So we went ahead and went with the RTV because header gaskets updated. They won't be here till tomorrow afternoon. About the time we're going to be at the track. So that's done. I got the plugs put in it. This is what the old plugs. You can't really go off of old plugs because they got like street miles on them and all that stuff. But there is one that came out of number 1. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it was washing that cylinder or what. But the rest of them look normal. So, yeah. Oh, and I also went ahead and took off all those dumbass stickers that were on the back glass. So, Can't really crank it up. We gotta let that RTV dry for a little while. The only other thing I gotta do is fix the catch can. Like one of the nuts is coming loose on the inside, and then that's about it. So jump into that right quick.
All right, so you can kind of see down off in there. Let's see if we can turn a flash on. Right off in there, it's just a fitting that comes through, and it's got a nut. That nut was just a little bit loose. So I just have a rag wrapped around here because if you ever run like a lot of E85 or alcohol or something, you'll know that water or the moisture that's in the fuel, that's in the engine that the fuel produces, just kind of goes everywhere. Like even with the cowl, it just goes on the windshield. So this just helps prevent it a little bit. So we just pop this back on and then we're done. So that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, because tomorrow we're gonna go try to put some coals to her and see what we can actually do. I mean, I'll still share times because it's not even close to where it's supposed to run. So hopefully we get 550 or faster tomorrow, and then you know, whenever we're racing we can't show times, but we're just testing, whatever, don't care. So I appreciate all you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.